Hello, coaches and basketball enthusiasts. Welcome to the Coach Carvalho podcast, the show that explores the world of basketball analytics and bold training methods. I'm Coach Carvalho, your host. In today's episode, I'll focus on basketball analytics conditioning and why it needs to evolve to match the demands of data-driven basketball. This podcast is now in its third season, and if you've been following my work, you know I've written extensively on how analytics impacts both offense and defense, forcing real adjustments to game style and how we train, when applied to how the game is played. And one, basketball analytics demands a different approach to conditioning, one that reflects the real pace, rhythm, and physical intensity players must sustain throughout a complete game. It's no longer just about getting players in shape. It's about preparing them to move, react, and execute according to what the data shows the game requires. In high-tempo systems, players sprint 50 to 70 times per game, covering 2.5 to 4 miles and often reaching speeds of 13 to 16 miles per hour. These efforts come with only 10 to 30 seconds of partial recovery depending on the style of play. Guards and wings usually lead in sprint volume, but even bigs reach similar speeds through transitions, defensive rotations, and recovery actions. Now, it's important to understand where these recovery numbers come from. The 20 to 30 seconds of rest is based on programs that don't apply analytics to their conditioning methods. These are slower-paced teams with traditional drills that don't match the speed or style of today's game. If you're running a full-court system that pressures, rotates, and plays fast, the actual recovery time between sprints is more like 10 to 15 seconds, sometimes even less. That's why players trained in old systems hit a wall, because their preparation doesn't reflect the game's real tempo. To simplify it, if you're playing this way, players are sprinting every 18 to 22 seconds with limited recovery, and early in the training phase, they can only sustain that intensity for around 5 to 6 minutes. That becomes the starting point. Through structured progressions, the goal is to condition them to maintain that level of play for 12 to 15 minutes or more. That's how you prepare to win when others start to break down. Conditioning programs need to be built on this reality. Short bursts, controlled reps, smart recovery windows, all based on how the game is played. This means the drills must simulate the game. Players should be sprinting with the ball, changing direction, making decisions, recovering on defense, or pushing in transition, because that's what actually happens in real possessions. They must be able to dribble, pass, shoot, and read the floor under fatigue. That's what keeps performance from dropping in the moments that matter most. The offseason and preseason, what I call the strategic phase, should be used to build that foundation. It starts with developing repeated sprintability, movement efficiency, and short rest conditioning. From there, you progress into basketball-specific drills with the ball that raise decision speed and execution under pressure. As preseason continues, the focus shifts toward precision, tighter reps, shorter bursts, and game-relevant actions. At the same time, performance must be tracked, shooting efficiency under fatigue, passing under pressure, turnover rates, and recovery speed. Each player's performance should be individually monitored during drills, including their dribbling control, passing accuracy, and shooting percentage. That data becomes the reference point for development and ensures the conditioning isn't just physical, but tied directly to execution and impact. Once the season begins, the focus shifts to maintenance. You reduce volume but maintain intensity. Use short, focused drills that keep players sharp without overloading their bodies. The goal is to sustain high-level execution deep into games, not just physically but mentally. Players trained this way don't just hang on. They take control. They see the floor clearly, react without hesitation, and continue to execute while opponents begin to wear down. Teams that aren't conditioned for this pace start to break, vision narrows, decisions slow down, and fatigue takes over. This is why conditioning must evolve. Traditional methods don't bridge the gap. They don't level the playing field, and they don't prepare a team to beat superior talent or to win the kinds of games most don't expect them to win. If you're looking for that edge, you need a plan that reflects how the game is played. Well, coaches, that wraps up today's episode. Before we close, I want to remind you that I coordinate a preseason training consultancy program, an opportunity for you to explore how to better align your conditioning, player development, and overall strategy to a basketball analytics-based style of play during the offseason. The goal is to take full advantage of data and methods to bridge the gap, level the playing field, and increase your team's chances of winning games and championships. To learn more, visit Smart Hoops Analytics at www.smarthoopsanalytics.com and book a free 60-minute video conference with me. It's a chance to talk through your program's needs and explore how we can collaborate during this strategic phase and throughout the season. If you enjoyed today's topic, leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. You can find the Coach Carvalho podcast on all major platforms. I invite you to stay connected and join us in future episodes as we continue exploring the smarter side of the game. This is Coach Carvalho signing off.